I want to do something a little different today. I'm going to share with you the exact program I've been doing for the last 3 months. And it may sound too good to be true, but I actually made more progress in those 3 months than I had in some years. I added 15 pounds to my max pull-up, and I wasn't really keeping track, but about 20 pounds to my 5-rep max ring push-up. And those are some pretty big jumps for someone who's been training seriously for over 10 years. It was kind of an experiment. I knew I was gonna be really busy in those 3 months. I got married, I moved across country, I bought a home, and I built this studio that I'm shooting in right now, all while maintaining my coaching business and making videos like this. So I decided to simply focus on 2 exercises. I thought this would be a great way to maintain strength while I was focusing on these big life changes. But instead of maintaining, I actually ended up busting through some big plateaus. I figured sharing with you guys the exact program I did down to the sets and reps may be valuable for those of you who are busy with a really stressful work life or have kids or just looking for a change. So why do I think it works so well? This 2-exercise program allows you to really focus your energy into 3 to 5 sets of each of these exercises. And this allows you to build strength quickly because you're not scattering your efforts over a bunch of different exercises. And if you still have goals to put on muscle, you could easily add some accessory lifts to the end of each workout. Who can make progress with this? I'd say intermediates. If you can already do 6 to 8 pull-ups and 10 to 15 push-ups, then this program will fit perfectly. But if you can't, don't worry, I'll show how to modify each of these exercises to fit wherever you are. What are the exercises? I think I've already said them. It's the pull-up or chin-up and the ring push-up. And I chose these 2 exercises because if you do them correctly, they'll work nearly every muscle in your upper body. After doing this program, I actually felt stronger in some things that I had been working on previously, like the handstand push-up and climbing. All right, without further ado, let's get to the program. First off, always make sure you warm up. My go-tos are 1 set of each of these. Active hangs, pulling the shoulders down and relaxing them for 10 reps. 30 to 45 seconds of a plank. If you're using the rings for push-ups, then do them on the rings. And some light dumbbell curls, both pronated and supinated. Workout 1 is strength day. For chin-ups or pull-ups, your first set is 5 repetitions with 1 to 2 reps in reserve, meaning at the end of 5 reps, you could have done 1 to 2 more solid reps, but you still stop at 5. And these reps are all supposed to be explosive and then just controlled on the way down. So here I'm doing 65 pounds. You could see after this last rep, I probably could have done 1 or 2 more. For set 2, you're gonna choose a weight or resistance that you think you can do 3 to 4 reps. In this set, we're going to failure. Here I'm doing 90 pounds, and you can see my 3rd rep is slower, and then the 4th, I nearly fail. I have to use a little bit of a kip. For sets 3 through 5, you're gonna drop the weight or resistance down to where you started in your first set, and you're gonna continue doing sets of 5 until you fail. And once you hit failure, you're done for the day. For most people, you're gonna stop around set 4 or 5 on this day. And you can see here, this is my 4th rep on my 5th set. And right here, 5th rep, 5th set, I fail, can't get it. Now I'm done. For push-ups, we're gonna do this similar to how we did our pull-ups. We're gonna do 6 repetitions with 1 to 2 reps in reserve. Now, I like the weighted ring push-up, but at the end of this video, I'll show you how to use parallettes or just different setups that may be more appropriate for you. So here I'm using 62 pounds, and you can see on my 6th rep, still looking pretty fresh. Could have done a couple more. And just like for the pull-ups, we're gonna bump up the intensity for set 2, looking to get 4 to 5 reps to failure. Here I'm using 88 pounds and I get 5 reps, and on that 5th rep, I am struggling. For sets 3 on, you're gonna drop that weight down to what you did for the first set. You're gonna continue doing sets of 6 until you fail. This is my 4th set, and on my 6th rep, it was really sloppy. My back was arching a lot, so I called that failure and called it a day. Oof. Workout 2 is hypertrophy day. We're doing higher repetitions. So different style of workout here. You're gonna choose a band assistance or weight that allows for you to start with doing 10 to 12 repetitions. And you're gonna go until you get to about failure, maybe 1 rep in reserve. I feel like with these lighter weights, you can like really flop around and do an extra rep. Try to avoid that. I'd say here, I probably pushed it too far. I probably should have stopped 1 rep shy of what I'm doing here. Yeah, pretty sloppy. And then from here, you're just gonna continue to do sets until you can't do 8 repetitions. You fail before that. For most people, that's gonna be around 3 sets, maybe 4. This is my 4th set, and you're gonna see I'm gonna fail on my 8th rep here in a sec. I think it's this one. Yep, there you go. Failure on the 8th. Boom, I'm done. And then for the push-ups, similar to how we did the pull-ups, we're gonna go until failure, but the reps are a little bit higher for push-ups. We're looking for 12 to 15 reps to start, and then we'll stop when you can't do the 10th repetition. One thing I'd add here is I'm a little more of a stickler for my form in push-ups than pull-ups. Pull-ups, I feel like you can just kind of keep cranking and still get something out of it, even when form breaks down. But for push-ups, if you're noticing your back is arching a lot and you're doing a lot of weird wiggling in your spine and shoulders to try to get reps, I'm not convinced that that's very useful. So I consider failure when I feel my form really breaking down. And you'll see that at the end of this set right here. Now, let's talk about which variation of push-up is best for you for this program. First, let's standardize the form. For this program, you're always gonna have the height of your feet or knees within 6 inches or 15 centimeters of the height of your hands. Make sure to keep your back flat, no arching. And you wanna go deep enough to where your chest gets to the height of your hands. Deeper is better, but there's no need to force it. When it comes to push-ups, the rings are king. So if you can do them, do them. And if you want to add weight to the rings or any variation, here's your 3 options. The weight vest is the easiest. A weight belt is nice because it's super customizable and it can go up to really heavy weights. Just make sure if you use a weight belt, you pull it up around your ribs. Don't have it on your low back. And a plate on the back works, but it's kind of precarious. And I definitely wouldn't recommend doing it with multiple plates. Now, if rings are too hard or you don't have them, simply do flat push-ups or push-ups on parallettes. It can be nice to do these with a little bit of elevation, and this allows you to go deeper, getting a bigger stretch at the bottom. And if you're trying to use a weight belt, you're gonna have to elevate pretty high because you need space for the weight to actually go down under you. Now, if you can't do 12 flat push-ups, no worries, just do them on the knees. And it could actually be interesting to do knee ring push-ups. So for this program, you just choose the variation or the amount of weight that fits the rep scheme for the day. So on your strength days, you're gonna use a harder intensity, and on your hypertrophy days, it'll be easier. All right, let's talk about pulling. I think it's important to do both pull-ups and chin-ups to keep your elbows happy and to keep your physique balanced. So for this program, you could do a month of one and then the next month switch to the other, or you could choose to do strength day as pull-ups and then hypertrophy day as chin-ups, and then swap those after a month. You'll just have to adjust the weights or band assistance accordingly because most people are stronger in the chin-up than the pull-up. And of course, you'll need some standards. For me, the minimum is getting the chin over the bar, but you could do clavicles or even chest. And it's up to you to decide how strict on form you want to be. For me, over the last 3 months, I've been pretty lax. I've been purely focused on getting stronger and gaining muscle. But in this next phase of training for me, I'm actually going back to having really, really strict form, meaning every single rep, I go all the way back to a dead hang, and I try to keep the straightest line possible when pulling, getting a lot less arching in the back or kipping of the legs coming up in the front to get to that top position. So if you can already do 10 body weight reps, then this program is really simple. You just add weight where necessary. Weight belts are the best, but you can also squeeze a dumbbell between your thighs. Just make sure not to drop it on your toes. Now, if you can't do 10 reps, you're gonna use bands for assistance. You'll just need to figure out the right band to use for each workout. This will likely take a bit of experimentation. And make sure the band is really secure on your foot. You don't want any slipping. I think we've all seen videos of that on the internet. One tip for if you're using a majority bands, at the bottom of the rep, the band is stretched out the most. So when you're in your dead hang, so you're getting the most assistance. So what I would do is add in 1 to 2 sets of active hangs with body weight, no band assistance, and you work on pulling the shoulders down and even starting to bend the elbows. And this will make sure that you're working the bottom of the pull-up as much as you're working the top. If you haven't done this style of training before, I would start with 2 sessions a week. But if your body can handle it, you could bump it up to 3 and just always make sure you're switching between hypertrophy and strength. Now, when you start the program, you're gonna need to decide whether you're prioritizing the pushing or the pulling, because that's the one you're gonna start the session with. My recommendation would be to start with the pulling, because in my experience, the pulling takes a bigger hit if you do them second. And of course, you should expect to get stronger throughout the program. Now, the progression needs to be a bit intuitive. If the rep scheme is starting to feel easy, where you can definitely do more than 4 or 5 sets, then you need to bump up the intensity by adding weight or changing your variation. And make sure every 4 to 6 weeks you're taking a deload, where you intentionally either don't work out at all for a few days to a week, or you continue doing your workouts but at a greatly reduced intensity. These rests are actually necessary to actualize a lot of the work that you've been putting in. Okay, that was a lot of information, but here is your program written out. Take screenshots of each of these days, the strength day and the hypertrophy day, and use them to reference for when you're doing your workouts. If you guys have any questions about the program, please leave them in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you liked this style of video, a deeper dive into a specific topic, then let us know what other topics you'd like us to cover. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.